right, today is the day, and we're going to kind of take a little trip down memory lane. Have you ever had one of those moments when you look back on something that was kind of pivotal in your life? Well, that moment came to me the other day, and I just happened to have my phone with me. And I thought, I wonder if that poster is out there that was such an impact on my life. And so, as with it is, no question unanswered in today's technology. So, made a little search for vintage Ferrari posters 1970, and there it was. All right, so here it is. From Collector Studio in Toronto, Canada. This is the poster. And it's big. Now, this Collector Studio had posters for thousands of dollars. This one was not thousands of dollars, luckily. But still, I figure if I'm going to pay a little money for a collectible poster, I needed to frame it. So we're going to... Okay, so while we're watching this bloke mount this poster, let me tell you a little more how this all started. So here's how the story goes. When I was 13 or 14 years old, we lived about 18 miles out of town. And it was just too far to ask my mother to drive to town every Friday night to hang out with my friends. So the answer was to just bunk at a friend's house. Now this friend Mark, he was a motorcycle fanatic, and he owned his own foosball table, and best of all, he had 2 Ferrari posters on his wall. Now I didn't have a motorcycle, and it was a complete waste of my time trying to play foosball with him because his hands flew like lightning across those little soccer men. So the thing that we could do in common was talk about girls and, of course, stare at those voluptuous curves on the cars of the Ferrari poster, of course. But a few years later, Mark moved to Colorado and took those posters with him. But etched in my mind forever was the image of those posters, especially of the Ferrari GTO 250, which everybody loves, with its perfect flowing curves and all the long hood. But something about the car next to it just really captivated my imagination. And this, of course, was the Ferrari LM 250. As I mentioned above, the internet allows us to answer questions almost immediately. But back in 1978, there wasn't any internet, and there wasn't any answer to immediate questions. Especially in a small town in Nevada, and your questions are about rare Italian cars. It'd be years before I'd ever really find out the history of that car, the LM 250. But what I did know then, without any help from Wikipedia, was I was smitten with sports cars. So I embarked on a mission to have my own exotic sports car. But my exotic car taste was kind of tempered by my family's economic status at the time. It was more used station wagon than imported Italian. Now you could work for years to try to save for one of these cars, but I was going to be 16 in a few short years, and my father saw my impatience and suggested, why don't you just build your own? My father was never one to be stalled by obstacles, and after spending all their money on breaking into the wildlife movie production, he and a partner, they built a life-size elephant out of fiberglass to kind of promote the movie. So just build it out of fiberglass like we did the elephant was the solution. I learned later that cars and elephants are very different, but the idea was planted and I started carving up a concept model. So when I started the design, Mercedes was hot in the middle of showing off their new concept car, the C111. And I stole a lot of inspiration from that car, and more specifically, a man named Eberhard Schultz variant of it, which was called the C1311, also known as the Etc. Imperator. However, other than like we made the elephant, I had no other guidance, and it turned out pretty shoddy at best. But that's okay, because doing something bad at first only gives the opportunity to get better. Not only get better, but get some experience. And experience not only knowing what to do next time, but sometimes just knowing that you can do big things. Okay, so now that we're here in the middle of doing another big thing, I thought, why not have a little shrine here at the end of the studio honoring 3 men that have had a great influence on me. Okay, so here they are. On the left we have Sergio Pininfarina. Now, maybe not solely for all the great designs that came out of that design firm, but he's certainly prominent there and had a hand in many of Ferrari models at the time. And to the right, Sergio Scaglietti. Now, Scaglietti built most of the bodies for Ferrari in those early years and had his shop across the road from the Modena factory in Italy. We'll just say that these two men contributed a great amount to what I call the golden age of Ferrari, and other enthusiasts believe that too. Now, in the middle, well, if you think you know who the man in the middle is, I want you to leave a note in the comments below and maybe tell me why you think that he should be included among these great automotive design figures. So, all right, there you go. A little look into my past and how I got into design and cars in particular. Hope you enjoyed that. And if you haven't been here before, and this is kind of a new video for you coming into this video, I'm going to put a little link up over here that takes you back to the first videos in the Arete Supercar project. You can go there and kind of start at the beginning and see the progress we've made so far. We'll put that there, and hope you go down and subscribe as well. Ring the little bell so that you get notifications of other videos that come up. Anyway, thanks for coming along, and hope you come back and see us again.